Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Hunter Petroviak in for Melissa Crash. A man is dead after an early morning shooting. It happened around 2 a.m. at the 6th Avenue bar in Terre Haute. Police say they were called to the scene and that's when they found a man with a gunshot wound to the stomach area. He was taken to Union Hospital where he later died. Police say the shooting happened after a physical argument between two groups of men. Everybody involved in the case has been identified, but they're still looking for two of the men. The name of the victim is not yet being released. Well, it's a homecoming to remember for one sorority after the death of one of their members who died from cancer over the summer. Alumni came together from all over to reunite and celebrate in her honor. News 10's Aaliyah Blackburn has more on how they're using her memory to give back to children here in the Wabash Valley.
Active in her community and a driving force in many young lives. That's how anyone who knew Tasha Tyler Roberts would describe her, including her mother, Carolyn.
Tasha was a mover and a shaker.
Carolyn says her daughter often spent her time helping the lives of others.
She was very active in doing programs with young people and was very, very involved in being sure that young people understood their worth.
Tasha died from cancer in June. News of her passing quickly spread to Mari Swain and her sorority sisters of Alpha Kappa Alpha.
We were trying to decide what exactly we wanted to do.
Turning their tailgate into a chance to give back.
We wanted to make sure that if we came back to homecoming and celebrated being back at ISU, that we honored her.
Through backpacks and notebooks, school supplies collected now going toward local children in need, just the way Tasha would have wanted it.
The things that are happening and the things that are taking place for young people because of her, it is overwhelming.
Remembering the woman who worked selflessly to change lives.
My daughter was a part of me. My daughter will always be a part of me. My daughter was everything I would hope her to be. It is so rewarding for me to see that her legacy carries on.
Carrying on for many generations to remember. In Terre Haute, Aaliyah Blackburn, News 10.
All school supplies collected will be donated to Sarah Scott Middle School in Terre Haute. Well, Indiana State University started homecoming off today with their annual parade. Many local organizations walked in the parade. Some even created some pretty cool floats for the occasion. News 10 was there saying good morning to everybody and celebrating the university. Sports 10's Megan McEwen will have highlights from today's homecoming game a little later in sports. Well, if you were out at the parade with us this morning, you know it started out very chilly. Storm Team 10's Eric Stidman joins us in the Weather Center. Eric, you guys really weren't kidding this week talking about cold and chilly weather. I mean, I had frost on my car this morning.
Absolutely, Hunter. A very cool morning and another cool morning for our Sunday. But first, I was looking at that video and I saw you in there. Who did you pay to get them to get that shot of that video of you? Anyway. Taking a look at our freeze warning, which is in effect in our Illinois counties until 10 a.m. Eastern Sunday morning and 9 a.m. Central Sunday morning in Illinois. That's because the temperatures are very cool. Widespread frost could damage crops as well as plants. Bring them inside tonight if you haven't already. Clouds and radar showing us why it's getting so cool out there. Not a lot of clouds, which is allowing the atmosphere to cool down quite a bit. As we zoom in and take a closer look at temperature change across the Wabash Valley, you can see this time last night in Terre Haute, it was 15 degrees warmer than it is now. So if it feels cooler outside tonight, it certainly is. -8 in Paris, -8 in Robinson, -5 in Vincennes. Current conditions in Terre Haute right now, 31 degrees, a calm wind. And as we take a look around the Wabash Valley, you see all that blue on the map there. Cool night, 31 in Paris, 41 in Casey, 31 in Robinson, 37 in Vincennes. There is a chance for a slight warm up. I'll detail that in my full forecast. Hunter.
Thank you, Eric. In tonight's Health Watch 10, vitamin supplements could prevent one condition and why doctors should pay more attention to young female heart attack patients. CBS News takes a look at this week's top health stories.
Women under 55 who've had a heart attack are less likely than men to be prescribed heart attack prevention medication, or if they are, to fill the prescription. That's according to Canadian researchers who analyzed data from more than 12,000 heart attack patients. They say more attention should be given to younger women because they have much worse outcomes following a heart attack compared to men. New research finds taking vitamin D or calcium after colorectal polyps are removed does not prevent future polyps. The research conducted by 11 11 medical centers studied more than 2,000 patients who took the supplements after having polyps removed. 3 to 5 years later, screenings showed additional polyps had developed in 43% of the patients. And patients with heart disease received the same level of outpatient care from physician assistants and nurse practitioners as they do from doctors. That's according to a study in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology. That's a look at some of the week's top health stories. Adriana Diaz, CBS News, New York.
Some Wabash Valley folks took to the basketball courts today, raising money and awareness for kids. Hoops for Kids took place at the West Vigo Community Center. The event is put on by Vigo County CASA and the West Vigo Community Center. Both organizations work with kids right here in Vigo County. CASA Director Nikki Furmeister says this event means a lot to the services both organizations provide.
What our CASA Kids organization does is they raise funds so that kids going through our system can utilize places like the Wabash Valley Community Center as an after-school resource.
Today's event was open to the public. This is the third year they've had the basketball tournament. It's a celebration this weekend at St. Mary of the Woods. The annual St. Mother Theodore Guerin Fest is taking place. Sister Jan Craven says this weekend serves as an educational and sharing process. Activities this weekend include keynote speakers, shrine tours, and many other events. Sister Jan says it's a great way to learn about what St. Mother Theodore Guerin set out to accomplish.
Over 200 people are here to lift up her life and learn more about her. They've read her journals and letters, and now they want to unpack them by walking where she walked and breathing the air she breathed.
This weekend's festival continues into tomorrow. Sister Jan says they'll continue to hold this festival for years and years to come. Coming up, there's more bloodshed as groups continue to clash in the Middle East. Plus, one local organization holds a masquerade. We'll tell you who it's for when we return.
You're watching the Wabash Valley's most watched newscast, News 10. Closed captioning is sponsored by First Financial Bank. News 10 at 7, only on My Fox 10.
During the housewarming sale at Furniture Row, you'll find great savings throughout the store. Plus, get extra savings of $100 to $200 with any purchase of $1,000 to $2,000. And enjoy no interest for 4 years. Save big during the housewarming sale on now at Furniture Row.
Black Angus beef and bacon? So Tex. Fire roasted peppers and onions? It's Mex. Let's settle this.
Should we tell him it's both? Eventually.
When Tex meets Mex, it's a win-win. The Tex-Mex Bacon Thick Burger, only at Hardee's.
Duke Bennett's steady leadership has Terre Haute moving in the right direction. Our city's crime rate is the lowest in over 20 years.
Fire and EMS response times are at record lows.
Terre Haute ranks second in the nation in construction job growth, leading to the city's lowest unemployment rate in years.
Less crime, more jobs, that's steady leadership. On November 3rd, vote to re-elect me, Duke Bennett, for mayor and keep Terre Haute moving in the right direction.
Getting a great price on a better night's sleep just got even better. Right now, get the Summit mattress for just $199 or the Doctor's Choice Elite Queen mattress with Ergo 330 base and no interest for 4 years, only $48 a month. Better tomorrow, start tonight at Denver Mattress.
Welcome back. In world news, more bloodshed in the Middle East as Palestinians and Israeli forces clashed in the streets. At least 4 Palestinians were killed Saturday after attempted knife attacks on Israelis, according to the Israeli military. CBS has the latest flashpoint of violence.
Israeli troops stepped up patrols Saturday after a new wave of violent attacks in the West Bank. Attempted knife attacks on Israeli civilians and police have left several Palestinians dead. The latest point of unrest is the city of Hebron, where a few hundred Jewish settlers live in close proximity to tens of thousands of Palestinians.
Scenes like this playing out on the streets of Hebron are not uncommon, but have flared up in recent weeks. We've seen a lot of Palestinians throwing stones, but they are a little match for the Israeli army.
Every day you kill Palestinian, not reasons, not anything.
The violence began more than a month ago and has been fueled by rumors that Israel was planning to restrict Palestinian access to the revered Al-Aqsa Mosque. Israel denies the allegation. Meanwhile, hundreds of pro-Palestinian supporters protested outside the Israeli embassy in London. In a sign of unity, Jews and Arabs marched through the streets of Jerusalem, calling for an end to the bloodshed. Funerals for the attackers have further incited the violence as Israeli troops struggle to stop the attacks without inciting more anger. Jonathan Vigliotti, CBS News, Hebron.
Secretary of State John Kerry is scheduled to meet with Israel's Prime Minister in Germany next week. The Indiana Theater was decked out for tonight's Monte Carlo Masquerade. It's the 4th annual event put on by the Council on Domestic Abuse, known as CODA. Tonight's event featured casino-style games, a silent auction, and dancing. It's the annual fundraiser for the organization. Cheryl White with CODA says they couldn't operate without a fundraiser like this.
It means so much to be able to help victims of domestic violence and sexual assault. There's so much need. We operate the only domestic violence shelter in a 5-county area, and it requires so many funds to keep that going.
They hold the event in October because this month is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Well, there was definitely a lot going on in the Wabash Valley today, and if you were out and about, you definitely needed that jacket. Storm Team 10's Eric Stidman joins us now from the Weather Center. Eric, those summer temperatures seem like they're nowhere to be found today.
That's right, Hunter. Definitely a cool down, and you might want to keep that jacket handy because you're probably going to need it for your Sunday commute. I'll talk about that cool weather that's moving in, plus when we could see a warm up. First, take a look at your numbers from today.